All right, welcome back. My name is Scott.
I'm Javen.
And here we are. We are going to be doing another podcast this week. This is on the pros and cons of gaming, either alone or with people. And this could be any kind of gaming. It doesn't have to be just video games. It can be tabletop RPGs. It can be war games. Because I've noticed a trend lately. A lot of these companies are making almost every one of their all the indie guys are making their board games playable by themselves or with a small group as possible. So, what do you think about that?
Well, let's talk about the pros of gaming alone.
Sure. I think one of the pros is you wouldn't have to deal with other people.
That's usually a big
none of
pro.
the BS of dealing with cantankerous people.
Yeah, like co-podcasters or anything like that.
Yeah, no, just not. No, you don't have. Yeah, you're just doing it. You can pick and choose your time, place, do it in your underwear. You can do it birthday suit, sitting at your desk.
Yep. The other nice thing about gaming alone is a lot of times you can play games and take them at whatever pace you want.
Yeah. You can definitely learn a little easier that way too, because you don't have to have somebody pressuring you, and when you're playing with somebody impatient, then it gets a little tougher.
Yeah. Oh, let's queue up. Let's get in the queue, or take your turn, man. Hurry up. Take your turn, man. Hurry up.
No, that's true. That's true. There's definitely pros and cons of that.
One of the other benefits of gaming alone is like setting your own constraints and goals within a game.
Yeah.
So like we talked about this in a previous episode of taking games and playing them like a roguelike.
Yeah.
Where if you die, you restart the whole game.
Playing Skyrim is an enchanter.
Yeah.
That's all you do the whole game. You can't do that if you're playing in a group of people because
they'd be upset.
They'd boot you out of the game.
Yeah, they'd be like, you need to carry your own weight and everything.
Oh yeah. No, that's true. That's definitely a pro. I'm kind of torn between the two. I do like playing with other people, but then when I go home, say like after a day, if a day's been a little chaotic and I'm tired, I'm kind of cranky, then I just want to veg out and play by myself and just put headphones on and just go. Just do my own thing. Live in my own little world for that hour or two. No, I can't. I can do that with other people too, but I'd rather just be by myself at that point because I've already had my fill of humans for the day.
Yeah, that's fair. Gives you a chance to recharge your batteries.
Yep. That way, tomorrow when I come into the store and do podcasts, then maybe I'm not as cranky.
Yeah.
The
other one of the big benefits too is like lets you focus on storyline.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing a game that's, like, let's use Borderlands or...
My favorite one is World of Warcraft.
Okay, yeah.
World of Warcraft's story is amazing. You went through and you played the game and you went through the quest and you listened, you read the quest and you just played and immersed yourself and did the cutscenes and did all the instances and all the dungeons. The story's amazing. It's a good story. But I guarantee that you're going to be really hard-pressed to find a group of people willing to do that with you.
Right.
Most people are like, click, 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 because they know they got 3,000 hours of grinding.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go to 0 to 120 or whatever the level cap is in 8 years. Because that's about all I would take if you listened to everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the only reason I say that is I played a lot of World of Warcraft over the years, and there was times where I loved playing with people and we made our own storylines up and just had fun and but you can't get the story if you have tons of people with you. It's just really hard.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I guess let's talk about some of the cons of gaming alone.
Yeah.
Number one is you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Which it can be a pro and it can be a con.
Right. I think the con with playing by yourself is, and this is kind of like, I've been through this before, especially when we moved from, like, my wife was in the service, we moved from Guam to home. I played by myself a lot initially, and it kind of sucked because the gaming group that I had, you kind of just, it's an easy thing to do. And once you fall into playing by yourself, it's really hard to just jump back into a group with somebody and say, oh yeah, let's do that. It's no different than when you're playing tabletop RPGs and you quit playing for 10 years. And you're like, well, when you come back to play, you want to play with your old group because you're familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of thing when you're playing online games or video games or whatever. If you don't have that group, you're like, oh, man, it's just easier not to deal with it. I don't want to learn new people. I want to teach people how to behave towards me. I don't want to learn how to behave towards other people. But if you don't have that human companionship, even if it's in a video game, it's nice just to have a human on the other side of that headset or keyboard or whatever to know that there's 2 of you in this world or 6 of you in this world doing the same thing. Humans need humans, unfortunately. That's how that works.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So that would be that's what I would think. That's how I feel about it. I found that when you play by yourself too much, it's just you get into a rut and it's very easy to not go back to playing with people. And then you find yourself by yourself a lot. And then when you want to play with somebody, hey man, let's play. Well, yeah, we already got a full group, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, fudge, what? Well, yeah, man, you haven't been around like 6 months. Like,
so we found a replacement.
Yeah, we just found someone to play with. Now we got a full group. Sorry, man.
Yep.
Then you're waiting to play. So I found that it's a balancing act to kind of do both. Keep your gaming group with you. I'm lucky. I got a lot of
stay in touch with your gaming group at the very least.
Exactly.
Don't just
keep up with them on Discord if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
show up once in a while.
Yeah.
It's like I've been playing a lot of Hunt lately, and nobody in my server really plays Hunt.
Right.
So I make sure to go back to my server and play a game with the other guys every once in a while, like Smite or something like that.
That way, when you want to go play Smite, you still have a group.
But like this is one of the benefits. I'm gonna go right into a con of playing with other people.
Yep. Let's do it.
So one of my biggest gripes of playing with other people is lack of communication.
Yeah.
So it was anime night or whatever the hell they call it.
Oh no, weeb trash
in our Discord.
Oh no.
So I don't watch. I don't partake.
Oh no, you have a weeb
But a lot
trash.
of times they will play games while they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd be fine if we were playing something like, I don't know.
Any of your 380 games you got on your list.
Any game in the world except for a game that requires communication.
Right.
Which we're playing a MOBA, we're playing Smite. It requires a certain degree of communication. Hey, I'm diving in right now. Well, out of respect for the quote-unquote anime night, I'm not communicating except for in-game means.
Right.
They have the commands in the game.
Right. Yeah, the quick commands.
Yeah, no one else is doing that. Everyone's there. Just my guys are on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, the enemies. I'm getting better communication and better response from my random teammates than I am the guys I'm sitting in a Discord with.
There you go.
But that's on me for. I played one game with them and then I quit. I'm like, I'm not playing anymore. I'm like, I can't play this game.
I can't waste my time like this
with no communication because I'm just gonna get frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things, and one of the big cons, is that you can get frustrated with other people. It's very easy to get frustrated with other people because they have their own wants and needs, and their priorities.
Yep.
And if they're not in line with what you have, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. No, you're not. You're 100% right. That's a big con. Unfortunately, I mean, it's really just got a way that both the cons go. But no, you can't argue with that one. There's some games you just have to have that communication.
Yeah, or another prime example is like, let's say we're playing a game and we both want to play the same character, but you lock that character every time.
Right.
And I'm like, hey man,
right,
I kind of want to play that character too. Well, you got to be quicker. No, fuck you. We're on the same team.
Right.
Why can't you just give up that character? And then when I do pick that character, your team kill me.
Oh, man. Well, I take it this has happened before.
Yeah, I haven't played with that person for 4 years.
Yeah.
I finally played with them last night, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Played some Hunt Showdown with him.
Oh. Okay, fair enough.
And I guess he's matured a little bit in 4 years. As crazy as that is to say.
I mean, there you go. That's a perfect example.
Was not a complete asshat when I played with him last night. So.
Well, that's good.
In fact, he was actually pretty reasonable to play with.
Okay.
And good communication. Better communication than the people I normally play with.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because they were an anime night.
And Weeb Trash night. Yeah, that's always good. It's my favorite night of the week. Not really, but it's kind of one of those things that have to go with the gaming industry, isn't it? Playing Weeb Trash. All right, so do we have any other pros and cons?
That was just a big caveat of multiplayer.
No, I get it, and I understand all of that. What about
the pros of multiplayer gaming?
Yeah.
So the pros of multiplayer gaming is some of the best moments I've ever had have been, hey man, did you see that? Yeah, man, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
When you can make a connection with somebody over something that happens in a virtual world.
Yep.
And everyone gets excited about it, or everybody's laughing about it. It's just that energy.
Yeah.
It's like a feedback loop, and the more people that you have doing it, the more exciting and entertaining it becomes.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I was playing a game called Star Wars Galaxies. And for you people who don't know that, you're probably younger than me by quite a bit. It was very popular when it came out. And me and my buddies at the time, we moved from Ultima Online to Star Wars Galaxies because it was the newest, fanciest game. And this is a story I would guarantee that they have told their children as much as I have. And it's the only reason is because we were playing with friends. And it was just hilarious to watch. And it's not funny to probably anybody else in the world. It really isn't, because we were just brand new characters all running around on this continent, whatever Naboo. Naboo's the planet, right? Yeah. We're on the planet Naboo. And we're running around just shooting little things and just being goons and trying to learn the game. And all of a sudden, we come across a Famba, which is a giant, the things that carry the big shield generators in Star Wars, the prequels. And my buddy's like, well, that's big. We're all like, yeah, why don't you go shoot it? He's like, no, that's a little big. He goes, okay, so he does. And so for like it's a stupid thing, but we played for like 3 hours trying to kill this thing. All of us, brand new newbie characters, ping, 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 shooting our little pistols. Hilarious as shit. Because we're all on like this voice chat system called TeamSpeak back in the day. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore.
TeamSpeak?
Yeah.
I think that's literally what Discord became.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, we were back on TeamSpeak at the time, and we were laughing our asses off so hard. I think that's probably why it took us so long to win, is because we were all laughing. Because the animations, and then the thing would stomp, and your little character would go flying and hit the ground, and then the Famba would try to eat you. And then we'd be over there. And I tell you what, it was probably the most long, ridiculous fight I've had in a game that I would never do in any other game, because I don't have patience like that.
Right.
But it was hilarity. And so that was funny. I'm gonna have to go unlock the door in a bit, but unless you want to do it for Joe. But anyway, yeah, so that was one of the funny things that go on. And yeah, like I said, nobody else is probably gonna find that funny at all, but it was hilarious as crap. And it's a lasting memory that we're going to take with us to the end of our lives. And it was a bonding moment. Like, if I call up any of these guys on I probably haven't talked to any of them probably 5-10 years now, some of them. But if I message them on a platform, if we had TeamSpeak and I just popped on, we'd laugh about that still today.
Right.
I just know we would.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else is on here? Any more?
I didn't even look at the bullet points after a certain point.
I guess another big con of playing by yourself is the limit to social interaction.
Yeah, we said. I think.
Yeah, we kind of covered that. Like, you need to have talk to people and get out and do it and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Let's hear it. Cons of gaming alone: limited replay value on some games.
Yeah, if you're playing with people, the replay value I think goes up.
Yeah, for sure.
You can. I mean, yes and no.
It all depends on the game, obviously. Mm-hmm. If you're playing like board games and stuff that are single player or card games, I mean, you can only play solitaire so many times, in my mind. And unless you're One of those people that love to mindlessly play Minesweeper.
I mean, my dad is a solitaire guy.
Okay. Well, and that's fine to entertain yourself, but
he does like the different challenges with it.
Right.
Oh my god.
But like for the general part, it's just there's limited replay value on a lot of it. With your friends, you can do things over and over a million times. It never turns out the same way any other times. Limited social interaction, perspectives. That's a big one. Limited perspective. If you're playing by yourself, my son was really good about this because we started playing games together because his type of games and mine were two different things when he was little.
Okay.
Or younger. He was more of the console gamer and played, like Crash Bandicoot and
right.
Banjo-Kazooie, and not a great one for him to play, by the way.
Rayman.
Yeah, he would play those games where I was playing, RTSs and stuff.
Right.
Now, when he started playing RTSs with me, and I have a very particular way I like to play, but then he would log in, but he looked at the game completely different than I did. So all of a sudden, he'd be coming up with strategies that I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Where'd you even think of that? He's like, well, I didn't know and I didn't want to ask you, so I tried it. And all of a sudden, boom. So you get that different perspective of different people and different, and especially if you're not sitting next to this person all the time, like it's your brother or something, you might not ever get anything new because you guys know each other so well. But if you're getting your buddies from somewhere else, different ways of looking at different things, man.
So one of the cool things, too, I talk about the MOBA genre a lot.
Yep.
Because it's a big part of what I've done for especially multiplayer games.
Right, yeah.
And the cool thing about the MOBA genre is that if you learn a bunch of different roles, you can play a bunch of different ways.
Right.
There's initiations, there's peeling, it's called, which is like defending other people or healing people or dealing damage. And the nice thing is that it's not like a MMORPG where you build a character to be a deeps or a tank or anything like that.
It's just kind of on the go type thing.
Every game you can play a different role if you want to. And we started doing that in our group. Two of us that don't care anymore, or three of us that don't care anymore, we just queue fill.
Right.
Which is basically, there's 5 roles in a MOBA, and we're queuing a role that's random, essentially.
Okay. So make sure all the roles get filled, but it doesn't matter who plays what.
And what it does is it's a priority thing. So the 2 guys in our team that want to play a certain role, that always queue that role, they'll get that role.
Then you guys get random.
But then us 3 will trade we'll rotate basically the other roles.
Right.
And that can make games very fun and very interesting.
Well, and it gives you different perspectives, too. Like, I know when I was playing MMOs a lot, my wife would play the healer. Okay. She basically hit auto-follow on me, and I would just kill everything because I was the tank.
You're a tank.
Yeah, I would run around as a tank or a DPS and just murder things and, kill the critters, and then she would just stand there and heal me. And then she'd collect loot. So I never had to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, then one day she's like, I don't want to play today. I'm like, well, now what am I going to do? I don't have a healer. Well, I'm going to go make me a healer so I can be that person that follows people and get into that. Just that perspective difference was just amazing. And I wouldn't have never done that without changing up my player base a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is don't be afraid to try out new players. I'm not saying abandon your
don't
people
abandon
that you play with all the
Yeah,
time.
no.
But, don't be afraid to try out new games or old games with new players.
Right, yeah.
I started doing that recently, and now I've branched out into a couple other Discords that I hang out more frequently in.
Right.
Especially the times that I'm up now, I'm playing with a lot of people from Europe.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
And Australia.
Yep. Yeah, when I was playing Ultima Online, we had a lot of people from Oceania. It was Australia, Southern Asian stuff. Which is, time zones were just completely different.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm up at that time.
Yep.
2 a.m., it's 8 a.m. for Europe, and it's like 6 p.m. for Australia.
Yep.
So I get all the guys that work evenings in Europe, and then all the guys that work day shift in Australia.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think that's
that was a good cover.
A good cover of pros and cons.
We need to go back over it later, then we'll go back over later and do some more.
And gaming with friends.
Yeah. All right, well, until next time, my name is Scott. We'll talk to you later.